All right, we're back here. This is a Pick Swap podcast, and we're here with Sixers process legend, Tony Wroten. How's it going, Tony?
I'm good, man. I'm really hot, man. We don't get a lot of sun like this in Seattle, so I'm out here in the sun enjoying it.
Great. Zach, do you want to start out with a couple of questions here?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, well, I mean, Tony, I'm sure you get this all the time, but, the first thing I want to make sure of, how you making out with the whole quarantine, how you and your family, you guys all healthy?
Yeah, just two sides, really, because really I've been quarantined all my life because, I can be at home and enjoy myself. You know what I'm saying? I'm big with video games, spending time with my family. So that's not a big issue, but, there's everything going on in this world and, how something so scary can shut down the whole world, it becomes real scary. So really, I just been, I'm blessed that, my family and my loved ones are all healthy. So I just been cherishing that and spending time with them, the ones that love me and the ones I love back.
Absolutely. Good to hear. Glad to hear that, man. That's awesome. That really is. Yeah, we're so excited to have you on, man. We're all Sixers fans too, obviously, in addition to doing this and, for all of us, you were a big part of, the process itself. So, I'd love to talk to you about like the whole spectrum of what you've experienced in the NBA so far. And what I really want to know is, what's to come, because I feel like the best of Tony's yet to come.
Exactly. And then, Philly has a special place in my heart, everything we've been through there and, me being, one of the originators of the process and me being there through the ups and downs and being there for JoJo Embiid when he was injured the first 2 years in a row. It's just, and Philly and just the city in general, man, there'll always be, a home to me. And, I love it, man. And then, a dream come true, me coming back. So we just waiting on it, man.
Absolutely. Philly fans, and I'm sure you're aware, but, they loved you right away for your grit and grind passion. It really matched well with the city. Where do you think that comes from for you?
Just upbringing, really. Real hard nosed. And, a lot of people know now, Seattle, got a lot of great, basketball players growing up. And and that's one thing I love about Philly is because, even though we wasn't winning a lot, they still want you. They're still going to cheer like we're in the finals. They still want you to play hard. You know what I'm saying? They still want you to play with that tough Philadelphia nitty-gritty. And, anybody can't just play there. Some people love it and some people hate it. But, once you're loved by Philly, man, it's a love that's so genuine and still to this day. I get Philly fans, all over my social media and it's just more motivation to me to keep going and to make my return.
Yeah, to dive in on that.
Absolutely.
So obviously when you came here, like expectations weren't that high for the team and like things going on with that. What was the mindset inside the locker room that was going on through all this?
Really, man, us being young, me being like 21 at the time, and I was one of the oldest players on the team, and that should tell you, right there, the type of path we was on. And the thing is, like, people only seen like us losing a lot. They didn't see how our locker room stayed together. And if you came to one of our practices, it would feel like, we're in a 10, 20 game winning streak, just by how our chemistry was, just by how we never folded, and just by how we stayed together. And regardless, of the process or, not winning a lot of games, that helped mold what is today. JoJo Embiid, was a part of that, and all the people, the tanking and the years that they had to sacrifice, and look at them now, a championship contender, you know what I'm saying? So, and it all started, with Coach Brown, with Sam Hinkie, and for me to be a part of that, just something special.
Yeah, and that's kind of another question I want to ask you. What was your experience like with Coach Brown? I know there's been a lot of mixed reviews from Philadelphia fans, but how did you experience Brett Brown as a coach, and have you seen growth from him?
I've seen growth every day and every year. And coming from Memphis, it was kind of mixed emotions because, I had, great mentors like, Tony Allen, Zach Randolph, and Mike Conley, so I loved it there. But then, when I found out I was coming to Philly, Brett had called me and, told me I was going to play off the jump. And, as an 18-year-old, that's all you can ask for, really. And everything he's said, he stood on, playing as a young. And as you can see, me loving his Boston accent, man. Being around him all the time, man. I'm just proud of him and the organization and what they became.
Yeah, so Sam Hinkie.
You were traded.
Go ahead.
You go ahead, Sean.
So Sam Hinkie took over right before you came here. What was your interaction with Hinkie? And did you ever like talk to him at all? And what was your vibe with him?
Nah, I actually, that's probably the quietest GM I've ever met in my life. I've been there all the years. I probably had one conversation. I probably heard him talk 3 times, but my time there, it was real brief. Like, we never really had a conversation. He was always quiet. He'll pop his head in the locker room and then pop back out. Like, he was like a secret agent, man. You would hear him, you would see him, but you wouldn't hear him, man. So obviously, you know, he was doing his thing, doing a good job, but you know, I didn't really have too much of a conversation with him.
Yeah. Well, going back to that trade that brought you over to Philly, you know, what were your expectations going into the city? You know, what had you heard about the city? You know, what was true, what wasn't? You know, and obviously you took well to the city, but what was your expectation coming in?
I wanted to show the world, you know what I'm saying, who I was, and I felt disrespected that Memphis would trade me, you know, after my rookie year, you know, not even give me a chance to show or not even giving me a chance to grow. And I wanted to show Memphis, I wanted to show the world. And then, you know, as time went on and I was playing, you know, my high career in Philly, I was showing that, you know what I'm saying? And God forbid, you know, I got injured, but I was on the path of showing that. And that's why I'm so grateful for Philadelphia because, you know, Coach Brown gave me the opportunity, Philadelphia gave me the opportunity. And once, you know, Philly seen who I was and seen what type of person I was, they took me in as one of their own.
Yeah, and I mean, that's –
Go ahead, James.
I was going to say, there was an interview later in your tenure with the Sixers where you kind of had said there were some trade rumors, and you kind of said, like, I'm auditioning for everyone. And now, obviously, a few years removed from that, and you're kind of trying to make this comeback in the NBA. And, I mean, you're only 27 right now. Are you still auditioning? What's your plan from right now?
Oh, yeah. Every day's an audition. And, you know, it's definitely going to happen. I just got to be patient and keep working. And, you know, it's just a process. And it's a process I'm willing to, you know, a road that I'm willing to take, you know, and I know I'm on my arm's reach and I know I can, you know, make it back. And that's all the motivation I need, you know what I'm saying? Knowing that if I do what I need to do, I can get back. And I know once I do get back, I'm going to be better than what I was before because, you know, the experience and being more mature, you know what I'm saying, going overseas, being by myself, and it just helped me become a man on and off the court, man. So I'm excited for the future, really.
Absolutely. You played in Estonia, Poland, Spain. You know, why don't you talk to us about playing overseas? You know, how did it compare to the NBA? You know, what did it really teach you as a player and more importantly as a person?
Man, honestly, man, overseas taught me tremendously, you know, because I was always the guy that, you know, I always had my friends around. You know, I had my routine, what I ate. You know, I was very picky eater. So going overseas, going by myself, you know, being, you know, different culture, different food. Like one of the biggest things that helped change me was I became comfortable with being uncomfortable. So, you know, once I became uncomfortable being uncomfortable, there was nothing that was foreign to me. There was nothing that I couldn't adapt to. And a lot of people don't know this, but you know, the NBA players, it's the best of the best, man. And we know that, the best players in the world. But as far as team defense, as far as the game, overseas basketball is a lot harder, the NBA, because the NBA is so much spread out. The NBA, they shoot too well to play zone. You know, you can't play zone because defense 3 seconds. You can do all that overseas. You know, there's no 3 seconds in the key. You can hit the ball off the rim. You know what I'm saying? And people play zone defense. So it's a whole different game. And you can see the guys like Luka, how they come over and just destroy. And that's why I feel like being able to come over here, it opens me up in life in general, and it turned me into a monster on the court. And, you know, that's why can't wait, you know, to be able to show NBA peers that.
Sure.
Yeah,
so you just mentioned, you know, what Europe kind of gave you, and so you kind of answered this question a little bit, but, you know, why now? Obviously, you're still young. Obviously, you're still hungry, okay, and you learned a lot, it sounds like, overseas. What is it about this moment that makes you in your heart know, listen, I'm ready to come back to the NBA, and I'm going to take it by storm?
Because for me, my first sign of change is admitting the wrongs. And, you know, the reason I'm not in the NBA had nothing to do with basketball. You know, nothing to do with my game. It was all my maturity, being immature. You know what I'm saying? And going overseas, and you know, loving overseas, but you realize, yeah, it's great, but I want to be back in the NBA. You know, so it humbles you, it matures you. You know, I always telling myself, you know, when I get back, I know what not to do and not to do. And, you know, being able to show the growth, man, and being able to show how much I've matured and grown and being a great teammate. And that's what I'm looking forward to showing people the most. And I know they're going to be watching. So it's just very interesting, and I'm excited for it.
Yeah. No, that's certainly important, you know. Go ahead, Tom.
So obviously the game styles are a little different, NBA versus overseas. Is there anything you think that you've added or taken away from that, from playing in like a different kind of way?
Yeah, just different styles of basketball. You know, overseas, a lot of different, you know, they might, you know, like when I was in Spain, there's a lot of older guys. You know, they wasn't fast. They wasn't, you know, didn't have handle. They wasn't the best, but they shoot it tremendously well. Their IQ is off the charts. So it's showing different types of ways of playing basketball. And I was able just to, in my bag, all the things I have in my game, take some things from here, add it to my game, and, you know, put all that together, you know, you create a very dangerous basketball player. And, you know, that's why I feel like experience is the greatest teacher, you know, because now I'm older. I see things from a different perspective. You know, I don't let the little things get to me. And I'm just continue to grow and soaking up all kind of game from all type of different players.
That's what you kind of expected. Like, obviously you're still hungry, you're still young, like we had said before. We don't want to like pry or anything. Is there interest? Are you interested in anything specifically? And obviously potentially with the Sixers, is there potentially a comeback in Philadelphia?
Man, honestly, I don't care who it is. You know, NBA is NBA. So I'll be blessed and I'll be thankful, you know, to come back for any team. But, you know, Philadelphia is just a special place, man. And I was able to really take my career off and show the world who I really was basketball-wise. And the way I'm loved in Philadelphia and the way my name is still spoken of out there, man. And for me to be a few years removed from Philadelphia, it's just a special place in my heart, man. So, like I say, you know, I don't care, you know, any team, you know, it's a blessing to come back. But it just hits different when it's Philadelphia.
Yeah, your time here.
Tony, it sounds like
your time here, you seemed real close with all the guys on the team, guys like Michael Carter-Williams and Khalif Wyatt, a bunch of guys like that. Do you still keep in touch with any of those guys?
Yeah, most definitely, all the time. You know what I'm saying? And then, like yesterday, I had talked to Vander Blue on Twitter because we was talking about the Team WAP thing and stuff like that. So stuff like that, that you know we created when we was in Spain and we went to Manchester for, you know, the preseason when we was all rookies, man, and stuff. Memories like that will last forever. And you know, if I go a couple weeks or a month without talking to Vander or Mike, they'll just randomly hit me on social media like WAP. And, you know, I know exactly what that is. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's something that we started, you know, when we was young, 19 years old. And for that to still be talked about to this day, man, it's just something that we're going to cherish forever and talk to our kids about when we get older.
Awesome. That's awesome. You know, you talk a lot about what you've, you know, really taken away from, you know, your time overseas, you know, kind of to focus on, you know, your comeback. You know, do you feel like there's one particular area of your game that you've kind of added on that you think you might shock a couple people, you know, something that you think maybe you kind of perfected or at least, you know, really kind of expanded while you were over there?
Yes, my attitude. People, you know what I'm saying, like, that hurt me a lot, you know, just being real and just being growing and maturing and looking back at my younger self, you know, the maturity and the growth. And, you know, just being able to mature and know the difference and to know what's better for the team, not just yourself. Because, you know, working hard every day, you're going to continue to get better on the court. But for me, you know, I wanted to really, really hold my hat, you know, and not giving nobody no negative thing to say. And everything that people were saying, the reason why I'm out the league, I wrote that down and I look at it when I was overseas. And it's just a reminder, you know, in order for me to get back, I can't do those things. You know, in order for me to get back, I got to get better at this. I got to get better at that. So I'm really working on everything, not just on the court as well, you know, because the NBA is not all about on the court. You know, you're global, you know, so you're looked at as a celebrity, and it's more than just basketball. So I've been really working on myself in general and really getting into me and knowing, you know, when that time comes, I'll be ready, more than ready.
That's great to hear, man. I think we're good here. If you obviously you want to stay and chat, that's cool. Obviously, we appreciate so much you coming on and spending this time with us. We're all rooting for you, man. We wish you good luck in your process coming back, and we hope to see you in the NBA soon.
Man, I appreciate it, man. You know, it's going to happen, man. We're going to speak it into existence, man. We're going to look back at the interview and say, we told you so.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely. Before we go, did you have a message you want to send to NBA teams on why they should consider you?
I can't hear you. What you saying?
Before we go, did you have a message that you just want to put out there, you know, in the universe for NBA teams on why they should consider bringing you back?
Because I'm better than I'm better than who I was. I'm 10 times better. You know, any team that want to sign Tone, it's going to be a steal. And I just use that as motivation, man. And I'm coming. I just know that.
I believe it.
Yes, sir. We believe in you, man. We're rooting for you. We appreciate you coming on.
Appreciate
Thanks so much.
Thank you.